This video we are going to discuss about migration process from C4DL 6.6 to Qlik Compose 2021.8. So Qlik Compose 2021.8, call it as Gen 2 solution for Compose. So we are preparing few videos for customers who are still using C4DL 6.6 to migrate their existing projects from C4DL 6.6 to Qlik Compose. Hope by this time everyone knows that we are going to end support for C4DL 6.6 by end of this year. So please plan to migrate the projects as soon as possible. And if you have any questions or if you are stuck in the middle of migration, please create a support ticket. And if you want hands-on support from end to end, then please reach out to our professional services team. In this video specifically, we are going to discuss about prerequisites for Qlik Compose and how to handle ODS projects when you try to migrate from C4DL to Qlik Compose. And let's see here what are all high-level migration scenarios for all the customers. So one is like Databricks to Databricks and Hive to Hive and Spark to Hive. Since we don't have Spark support anymore, all the Spark projects should be migrated to Hive projects. And there are no more remote agent software for Qlik Compose. So we need not install anything on the remote server for Qlik Compose agent. And you can use the same license key from your C4DL and use it in Qlik Compose. If you have any problem while using the old license key, please contact support. Just make sure that you have supported database version for data lake. Yeah, let's see the major differences between C4DL 6.6 and Qlik Compose. In C4DL, we used to have storage and provision layer, but in Qlik Compose, we don't have provision layer anymore. And our views replace the provision layer. And there are a lot of benefits using Qlik Compose. We can get the low latency data even without running the Compose CDC job. I think you can go through user guide and get more information. Still, you can reach out to product management team if you need any other information. Okay, we can see here how to install Qlik Compose on dedicated machine or the same machine where your FTL 6.6 exists. But in my case, I'm going to use the same machine. That means like I have already FTL 6.6 installed on my laptop. So we can see here the service Unity Compose exists, but I don't have Qlik Compose software installed. So yeah, I'm going to install Qlik Compose on the same machine now. But we have to understand that install directories for Qlik Compose and Unity Compose must be different. Of course, anyhow, while installing the product, it is going to give different directory, but please don't change it. If you want to change the drive letter, you can change it, but don't try to overwrite the same data directory. So yeah, let's start the installation process now. You have to make sure that install Qlik Compose as an administrator. And we have to accept this license agreement. Then only we can go forward and select this option. And once you do that, you can click next. And this is what I talked about. The path for Qlik Compose shows Qlik/Compose, but for the Unity Compose, it will show Unity/Compose. So please don't change this Qlik to Unity. If you want to change drive letter, that's okay, but at least leave that Qlik/Compose as it is, because it's going to confuse you in future as well as support team also. So please don't change those names so that it will be installed on two separate directories And if you try to overwrite a Unity Compose, and it's going to create problems because those formats are not supported by the Qlik Compose software. So please make sure that two directories are separated. Please don't combine. You can click next and next to start installation. It's going to finish in a minute. Let's wait. Okay, now installation finished. So let's click on finish, and let's verify the Qlik Compose service. Yeah, we can see Qlik Compose service here, and it's installed on Qlik Compose directory. Okay, now let's go to the UI and see whether we can able to connect it or not. Yep, we connected and we don't have any projects now. And you can verify the license. In my case, I already registered license, but in your case, you can use the old license from C4DL and use the same license. And if you have any trouble, as I said before, you can contact support or your account team. They can able to provide correct license for you guys. Okay, let's verify the replicate in C4DL 6.6 and Qlik Compose, and we can proceed our next steps on how to move these project definitions and everything. And in the C4DL, my project type is ODS. So basically, I'm going to use ODS project on this demo, and I just want to move project definition, not the data. So let's discuss high level plan first, migration end-to-end high level plan, and then let's discuss about the specific migration, how to handle ODS projects. Okay, here is the document I said initially about Qlik Compose installation. That's what we finished right now. And second point is like replicate must have speed partition option enabled. Okay, let's go back to replicate and verify. Change processing, store change settings, and here, yeah, it's already enabled. If you don't enable it, please enable the speed partition option, and you have to save the task definition. Anyhow, we are going to reload the replicate task now, so just enable this option and click OK and save it. Okay, right now we are going to stop the task and resume it back. So before going to actual demo, so let's see high level plan for the migration end to end. Then we can get into the actual demo. So let's go to the document now. Okay, so we have a running project in C4DL. So we have to create a deployment package for each and every project which is in C4DL 6.6, and then create an empty project in Gen2 which is equivalent settings to existing C4DL. Like if the C4DL is ODS, then we have to create ODS project in Qlik Compose also. Okay, C4DL, you can see that it's a ODS project. Then we have to create a new project in Qlik Compose. You can give the same name as like C4DL. Okay, give the same project name like C4DL in data lake, and we have to select ODS in this case, ODS, and click next. on-premise, and then we have to select Hive as it, and then Cloudera. Finish. Yeah, now we just created a project, but we don't have a storage zone created yet. That is what the second point is, create storage. And yeah, we can just give the same information from the C4DL. Server name and the username and password. And the database name. So basically the database name, in this case, we can give the same database name because we are not going to migrate the data from C4DL to Qlik Compose. We are just going to migrate project definition and reload the replicate task and then start the full load job in Qlik Compose so that we need not uh, migrate any data from existing database to the new database. So we can just use the same database. But before going to run Qlik Compose storage tasks, we have to clean up the storage database. So we can see all those steps. So yeah. So in this case, yeah, we can use the same database name like C4DL. Anyhow, we are going to stop the services of C4DL before we start the actual migration. Okay, once we provide all the information, let's do the test connection. So once it works fine, we are good with this project. So we have an empty project exist in Qlik Compose. So we have to prepare our C4DL deployment package to compatible with the Qlik Compose project now. Okay, the test connection succeed. Okay, I just forgot to say one thing. So after we install the Qlik Compose, we have to place required JDBC drivers into JDBC folder. So yeah, let's go to the path and see where we have to place those files. Okay, Java and then JDBC. Yeah, here you have to copy all the required driver files. So please make sure that appropriate files exist here. Please check the user guide for exact version and everything. Okay, so now I'm generating a deployment package from C4DL 6.6 project, and then I'm directly going to deploy it in the Qlik Compose. Let's see what is going to happen. Okay, if you say yes, it is going to fail. Say it's not going to be supported. Okay, so that is why we have to convert the existing deployment package generated from C4DL 6.6. So we created a project in Qlik Compose and define a storage, and now we have to run few CLI commands to generate adjusted project deployment package for Qlik Compose. So if you see this command, adjust C4DL project, which has to be run from Qlik Compose software, so that it is going to create required package, deployment package for Qlik Compose. And then we can simply import that package to Qlik Compose here. Okay, once we import the project, we can just verify the project is working fine and create storage zone tables and then generate the tasks in the Qlik Compose project. And finally, migrate the data. Okay, to migrate the data, so we have to run this another CLI command, which will generate a SQL script. Basically, the SQL script will select the data from C4DL storage zone database and insert it into Qlik Compose C4DL database. If you follow this migration process, we have to use new database name for Qlik Compose project. We cannot use the same database name from the C4DL project, because in this process we can run both the projects at a time. So we are not going to cover complete migration process in this video, but in this specific video we are going to cover only ODS project uh, related scenario. And if you have ODS project, we suggest you to go with full load and CDC in Compose once you did reload in replicate. And you can only migrate project deployment package in this case. No need to migrate entire data. So that is the reason we can use the same database name. So this can be applicable for HDS projects also. If you are okay to lose historical data, so you can just follow the same steps to build your Compose storage database from scratch. Okay, let's get into the actual demo. So now we are going to migrate project from C4DL to Qlik Compose. So to do that, we have to generate deployment package from the C4DL. If you have 10 projects, you have to create 10 deployment packages, and then once you get the deployment packages, you can simply stop your uh, C4DL service, and you have to disable it, because in this process we are going to migrate just projects and then load the data from scratch, so we don't need to use C4DL anymore. So we can see here we cannot able to connect C4DL 6.6, and if we have 10 projects in C4DL, we have to make sure that all the deployment packages are available, and we already created empty projects in Qlik Compose with the same names and with valid storage zone. Okay, now before going to reload replicate, I just want to verify landing zone and storage databases here, what kind of data we have. Okay, here these are the tables in landing zone: base table and seat table. And if you can see data inside CT table and base table, we have 3 rows exist in base, and there is one update in CT table. So yeah, let's verify the same table in storage zone also. Yeah, just observe the naming convention here. It is going to completely change in Qlik Compose. Still, these are the databases from C4DL 6.6. Yeah, if you see here, there are 3 records still because it's a ODS project, and there was an update happen. You can see the 3rd row got updated with that change. Now we're going to reload replicate task. Before that, just stop the task and clean up landing zone and storage zone. Make sure that there is no data exist, even underlying folders. So yeah, we can just make sure to verify the target folder for the landing zone also should be empty, so that ATT rep CDC table will be empty. So we'll get best performance when we did the full load, because we are not going to use any old data. So it's better to clean up completely. So let's drop the databases with the cascade option and make sure the underlying HDFS folder also to be cleaned up. Yeah, we can see here both the databases dropped and recreated now. So we can go ahead and reload in replicate. Okay, before running replicate task, let's go to Qlik Compose, and we can see here still it is an empty. We have to deploy the project here. So let's connect to the Qlik Compose CLI and then generate the deployment package for Qlik Compose. Okay, open the command prompt as an administrator and run Qlik Compose CLI connect command from the Qlik Compose binary directory. So we can see here Compose CLI got connected, and we have to run one more command to generate the deployment package for Qlik Compose. So you can grab that command, the Word document, and then place it in Notepad. And yeah, this is the deployment package generated from C4DL. So I just want to copy this deployment package to different folder to available with the Qlik Compose. So let's go to Qlik Compose data directory, and here I just created C4DL 66 folder to keep all the old projects here. So I just moved the old deployment package here. Just want to use it for compose Qlik CLI command. Okay, just prepared a query. Yeah, seems like there is a space for in file. Okay, let's modify and run one more time. Okay. Okay, so we can see here it finished, and now we can go to Qlik Compose specific project to see the converted deployment package. So let's go to the C program files, Qlik Compose, and then data, projects, and then specific under the project you can see deployment underscore package. So this is the newly created deployment package for Qlik Compose. We can simply deploy this package on the available empty project in the Qlik Compose. So let's go and deploy it. Okay, so yeah, let's select and deploy, confirm, and click OK. Okay, now we can see storage zone. Let's do the test connection here. So as we already dropped and recreated this database is empty now. And yeah, test connection is taking time. It's going to finish in a couple of seconds. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, now, yeah, okay. Let's see here. Yeah, usually I selected associated replicate task option, but the server name is different between C4DL and Qlik Compose. Please make sure that you register the server with the same name between C4DL and Qlik Compose, so you will not have this issue. So yeah, I just again selected the associated replicate task option and selected the correct server name here. Okay, let's do the test connection now. Okay, now it worked. Okay, okay, close this one, and then let's validate the model. Okay, it worked. And yeah, if you see here, storage on database is empty. So if you click on create, it is going to create empty tables for Qlik Compose project. It's completely different. So and you will find completely different set of databases also for Qlik Compose. Let's see. Before create the actual storage zone, let's see what all databases exist here. So if you see currently there are no tables, but if you see the database names, you can see here only two databases, one for landing zone and one for storage. But let's create it and see. It's going to take some time because it's going to create a SQL script and then it is going to run the same script on the Hive to create all the objects, and it's going to create few databases to keep uh, the required views for Qlik Compose Gen 2 solution. Okay, we can see here the tables created suppliers and shippers. But it's a non-historical because our project is ODS. Okay, yeah, seems like it's almost end. Okay, yeah, you can see here the SQL script name. If you want to create this script manually on the Hive database rather than creating by the Compose, you can do that from here. In the settings, we have an option to keep generate DDL but don't run. So if you enable this option and select on create, it is going to create a script but it will not run. So you have to do it manually in that case. If you can see here, there are a couple of databases also created for Qlik Compose, which ends with v internal and underscore v, and there are a couple of tables, new tables created with the new table convention. Yeah, let's go and verify it from the DBeaver side. Yeah, there are three databases for storage zone, and we know one name which is B created, and another two databases newly created for Qlik Compose. One ends with underscore V, another ends with underscore V underscore internal. Okay, let's validate the storage zone once before going to generate tasks. Okay, it's finished. Go to manage, and then here we can generate, but we didn't reload the replicate task, so it is obviously going to fail. Okay, so because there are no landing tables exist right now, so yeah, we can close this one and go to the replicate and reload the task. Okay, okay, start reload. It's going to take some time. Okay, so full load finished. So now let's check the CDC. Yeah. So currently, I'm not going to send any CDC changes right now. Once I do the full load and CDC load from the compose, then I can come back and do some changes here, generate some changes on the source side, and see how it's going to affect on compose side. Okay. Now on the compose side, let's go and generate the tasks. Full load one, and then generate the CDC task also. Then let's run the full load task now. So when we run full load, basically it's going to select the data from base tables and load it into base tables. And when we run CDC, it is going to select the data from CT tables and then going to merge the data into storage table. But in our case, we don't have any changes generated on CT table. So both tables is going to skip the data. So that is expected behavior. Both tables skip the data because there is no data to process for compose. So now we can go back to replicate and generate some changes on the SQL side, see how it is going to affect for the compose CDC job again. Okay, it generated one update on only one table, and we can check the CT table for the changes. And let me switch the database. Okay, and then run select on CT. Okay, there are no changes because our partition close time is 1 minute. So if you want to see data in CT table, we have to wait for 1 minute. And let's go to storage zone and verify how the data looks like because we already did full load in compose. Okay, it seems like CT data is appeared. Okay, so there is a before and after update records appear in CT table. Okay, let's go to the storage database and verify the storage table. Okay, still this is just full load related data because we haven't did any changes before, and even after did the changes we didn't run the cdc task yet. Now we are going to run cdc task and we expect to see changes in updated table. So that means one table is still going to skip the data and one table is going to process the data. So let's see the result here. Okay, we can see here one skipped and one done, like one table process the data. Let's verify in the storage table now. So previously we saw only full load data, but if you see here, one row got updated with the new phone number. Okay, this is pretty much end of the video. And we are going to cover Databricks to Databricks and Hive to Hive, Spark to Hive in the next videos. And hope this is the simplest process rather than migrating entire data. So hope it can help you while migrating the project definition from C4DL 6.6 to Qlik Compose. Thank you so much. Bye.